A big surprise has just shaken the public. In just minutes, a secret that had been carefully kept suddenly surfaced. Exactly 15 minutes ago, in a live broadcast watched by thousands of fans around the world, Taehyung said something that immediately caused a wave of commotion. No one expected that a moment that looked ordinary actually contained a major explosion capable of turning many people's perceptions upside down. Even Jungkook, a figure who always appeared strong and full of control, looked completely caught off guard. The question now is, what exactly did Taehyung reveal that made the atmosphere this dramatic? The fact that this revelation happened during a live broadcast added to its shock value. No censorship, no editing, and no room to hold back. Everything happened in real time, and everyone could witness facial expressions, voice intonations, and body movements that could not be manipulated. That was the power of this moment. Taehyung, usually known for full control over what he shows to the public, suddenly chose to release something that clearly shook everyone. A secret that seemed to have been held back for a long time, but finally broke at a time no one ever predicted. The public's first reaction was silence. Phone and computer screens broadcasting the live became witnesses to how the seconds of shock spread among viewers. The comment section exploded within seconds, thousands writing almost the same sentence. Did we just hear something that is truly real? The question arose because what came out of Taehyung's mouth was not just ordinary information. It was a statement with major implications, not only for him but also for the internal dynamics that had long been hidden. Amid the uproar of public reaction, the camera several times showed Jungkook's expression. He looked frozen, as if not knowing how to respond. His eyes were blank for a moment, before finally showing confusion that could not be hidden. That scene sparked wild interpretations. How could Jungkook, who had always been so close to Taehyung, not expect such a big secret at all? Does this mean that all along there was an unnoticed distance between them? Questions began to emerge. If what Taehyung said was true, why did he choose to reveal it in an open forum, not in private? Was there a hidden message intentionally directed at Jungkook? Or was this rather a form of emotional pressure that could no longer be contained? What is certain is that the public is now trapped in a dilemma between fully believing what just happened or doubting its truth, because it was too shocking. Fans' reactions across various social platforms showed how serious the impact of this moment was. Some cried, feeling betrayed by the reality that had just been revealed. Some were angry, judging that this revelation seemed to be a form of injustice against Jungkook. Many were also confused because for them, this was too big to grasp in a short time. The situation grew more tense when clips of the live began to spread widely on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, complete with various speculations developing without clear direction. But what was most interesting was Taehyung's own expression when revealing the secret. He did not smile, nor did he look hesitant. The words came out in a flat tone but with pressure, as if to emphasize that what he revealed was not just a momentary emotion. It was precisely the calm he showed that made the atmosphere even more chilling. Because the calmer someone is in saying something heavy, the greater its shock effect on others. The public is now wondering, will Jungkook respond or choose silence? Silence may seem safe, but silence can also spark much wilder interpretations. If he speaks, what will he say? Will he confirm the truth of the secret or deny it? All possibilities are open, and each has major consequences for their relationship as well as the already shaken public perception. This situation has triggered a domino effect. Social media is full of snippets of analysis. Some fans connect the secret with previous incidents, such as small moments in their interactions that now look different after the secret was revealed. Small details, once thought trivial, are now reanalyzed with a new perspective. Everyone seems to be racing to become a detective, searching for threads that could explain what Taehyung really meant. But is the secret really as big as it is perceived? Or is it the public that is drawing conclusions too far? This is where the uniqueness of this phenomenon lies. A single sentence from a major figure can change the direction of global discourse, creating a new narrative that is not necessarily in line with its original intent. But it is precisely this ambiguity that makes it even more interesting to discuss. In this context, it cannot be denied that Jungkook is the most cornered party. His stunned face and confused reaction have now become a symbol of unpreparedness in facing sudden reality. All eyes are on him, waiting for his next move. How should a public figure as big as Jungkook act when confronted with a revelation he himself never expected? The public wants answers, but answers do not always come as fast as they want. It is precisely this uncertainty that makes the atmosphere hotter. Every second without clarification is seen as a sign that something really is happening. Speculation runs wild, and this is where the greatest risk lies. False narratives can spread faster than actual facts. Now, what remains is a big question mark. What really drove Taehyung to reveal such a big secret in a live moment watched by millions? Why did Jungkook look so unprepared? Was this merely part of a larger strategy, or was it truly an emotional outburst that could no longer be contained? These questions cannot be answered quickly, but will continue to haunt until there is certainty. What is clear is that the world is now waiting. Every fan stares at their screen with mixed feelings: anger, sadness, disappointment, but also curiosity. The secret revealed 15 minutes ago has changed everything. And no matter what happens next, one thing is certain. This moment will continue to be remembered as one of the most shocking points in Taehyung and Jungkook's journey. Another wave of commotion shook the public after news spread of an event said to involve Jungkook and Taehyung. But the question that arose right after this news spread was not simply what really happened, but how far the truth of each piece of information spreading across platforms goes. Can the public truly trust every video clip, live snippet, or text excerpt taken from social media? Or is this all just a fabrication designed to create chaos for the benefit of certain parties? We live in an era where a short TikTok upload can turn into a global issue in just hours. But does the speed of information flow also mean the truth level contained in it is high? Isn't it precisely speed itself that often becomes the main cause of misunderstanding, narrative manipulation, and the spread of fake news indistinguishable from real facts? This question becomes even more relevant when we see how great the emotional impact caused by news involving big names like Jungkook and Taehyung is. In this case, the public seems to be led to believe that a shocking event truly happened, even though the available evidence is still very limited and full of question marks. Is it true that HYBE as a big agency could make a fatal mistake that hurt an artist as big as Jungkook? Or is there another power behind the scenes deliberately creating this narrative to steer mass opinion? Why at the most emotional moment was Taehyung said to have given an unexpected reaction? Was that reaction sincere, or merely a snippet of an interaction deliberately twisted to produce a certain impression? At this point, the public should not stop only at the emotional level. We need to ask further. Who really benefits from the spread of such news? Is it truly the artists involved, or rather those exploiting their names to reap benefits from public attention? If we are honest, isn't the global entertainment industry often reliant on drama, controversy, and gossip to maintain relevance? Then could it be that news about Jungkook and Taehyung is simply part of a bigger strategy to keep their names in global conversation? It cannot be denied that ARMY, as the world's largest fanbase, plays a central role in spreading and validating every issue. But does ARMY's enthusiasm make them vulnerable to manipulation by deliberately crafted narratives? Can unconditional fan support turn into a weapon exploited by certain parties to steer opinion to their advantage? Could it be that fans, always trying to protect their idols, are unknowingly part of the mechanism spreading information that may not be true? Let us reflect further. Every time an issue arises, ARMY simultaneously floods Twitter with hashtags, fills YouTube with analysis videos, and debates every tiny detail on TikTok. But does this activity truly bring us closer to the truth, or rather move us away because the focus shifts to emotion, not fact? Isn't debate born from out-of-context snippets likely to produce wrong conclusions? We also cannot ignore how digital media works. Social media algorithms never care about truth. What they seek is user engagement. The more sensational a piece of news, the greater its chance to spread to more people. But are we willing to let ourselves become victims of algorithms chasing only sensation? Is it right for fans' emotions to be played with only to increase clicks, views, or likes? And if that is the case, does that mean the story of Jungkook and Taehyung is just a victim of a digital media system hungry for sensation? Furthermore, could there be a larger hidden agenda behind the spread of this issue? Was this issue raised to cover up something more important, such as a company's business strategy or an industry shift? If that is true, shouldn't the public be more alert not to be deceived by deliberately directed narratives? Isn't it too naive to see this issue only as personal drama between individuals, while there may be much bigger economic and political interests at play behind it? Let us take a simple example. Many anonymous accounts on Twitter and TikTok suddenly appear just to spread video snippets or controversial claims. Where exactly do these accounts come from? Are they truly caring fans? Or are they simply tools of certain parties spreading issues for hidden interests? What if much of the information we have consumed so far is nothing but illusions deliberately planted to provoke reactions? Are we ready to face the reality that much of what we believe may be nothing more than fabrication? In this context, it is important to emphasize that every piece of circulating information, no matter how convincing it sounds, still requires strict verification. There is no guarantee that what we see on YouTube or read on Twitter represents the truth. On the contrary, the more sensational a claim, the greater the chance that it was deliberately exaggerated or even fabricated. The question is, do we as consumers of information still have the ability to distinguish between fact and fiction? Or have we been swept too deep into the flow of information to even care about the original truth? Jungkook and Taehyung are only examples of a broader phenomenon, how public figures are used as tools to mobilize the masses. But is it fair for them to be continuously made targets of speculation that may not be true? Is the public, with its curiosity and emotions, not participating in creating pressure that actually harms the artist? If that is true, shouldn't we all begin questioning our role in this cycle? Every claim about Taehyung's shocking reaction or Jungkook's emotional wound should not only be entertainment material. Rather, such news should encourage us to develop a critical attitude. Why? Because every time we choose to believe without verification, we are strengthening the culture of false information. And every time we spread news without ensuring its truth, we are helping to widen the reach of a hoax. Here lies the public's moral responsibility. Do we want to be part of the group easily provoked emotionally without thinking, or part of the group striving to seek truth objectively? Do we want to be passive consumers of narratives created by certain parties, or are we ready to be critics questioning every detail before believing? We must also realize that skepticism does not mean rejecting all information. Skepticism is the effort to weigh, test, and ensure that the information we receive is truly trustworthy. But do we dare to be skeptical of news concerning our own idols? Do we dare to question narratives that may feel painful, but are important to uncover truth? Or would we rather continue living in the comfort of illusion, even if that means we are being manipulated? In the end, everything returns to a fundamental question. Do we truly believe this event is real? Or do we realize it may just be a fabrication designed to draw media attention? Does this news reflect actual facts? Or is it merely part of a hoax created for sensationalism? Can we separate reality from fabrication in an ocean of information that is increasingly hard to distinguish? The answers to these questions cannot be left to one party alone. Every reader, every fan, and every consumer of information has the same responsibility to analyze, verify, and reflect on what they receive. Only in this way can we protect ourselves from the traps of false narratives that could damage our perception of truth. But at this point, a sharper question arises. Do we as the public truly understand the consequences of spreading an issue that may not be true? Isn't it that every time a narrative is spread without verification, we are adding a layer of confusion that in the end actually distances us from the truth? Is it possible that this phenomenon is not merely an individual mistake, but rather a reflection of a digital culture that has become increasingly accustomed to living in a fog of information? When a short video on TikTok or a live snippet on YouTube is used as the basis to build big speculation, are we aware that such a fragment is only a small part of the entire context? If a narrative is built only from fragments, isn't it very easy for anyone to implant a false perception? Then how can we be sure that what is called Taehyung's big secret really happened? Or is it just an illusion designed to test the public's reaction? This phenomenon clearly shows that the boundary between fact and fiction in the world of entertainment is becoming increasingly blurred. Does the public still have the ability to draw a clear line, Or has that line already been erased by the torrent of information mixed with sensation? In this case, Jungkook's emotional reaction that was said to be completely unexpected, did it truly happen authentically, or was it merely the public's interpretation of a brief expression that was twisted to create drama? Furthermore, we need to ask, who actually controls the flow of this narrative? Is it the fans who endlessly talk about the issue on social media, or are there other parties who deliberately ignite sparks to turn them into a big fire? Are we witnessing a real event, or are we merely the audience of a stage full of visual, textual, and emotional manipulation? If that is indeed the case, then should the public not be more cautious before jumping to conclusions? We cannot close our eyes to the fact that the modern entertainment industry not only sells works of art, but also drama behind the scenes. The question we must ask is this drama real, or is this drama deliberately produced as a profitable commodity? If it is true that a big secret was revealed in a lie, then why is the evidence circulating so vague, fragmented, and full of speculation? Isn't it strange if an event that is claimed to be so big turns out not to have a complete recording that can be verified? This reflection brings us to a bigger dilemma. Will we continue to be part of the public that is easily influenced by sensational titles, or are we ready to challenge the narrative that is presented with a critical attitude? Will we be satisfied only with temporary emotions, or will we dare to demand a more substantial clarity? Isn't it in the end our attitude as consumers of information that will determine whether the culture of sensationalism continues to grow or slowly erodes through critical awareness? And finally, the sharpest question arises, is it true that Jungkook did not expect it at all? Or is it the public who did not expect that they themselves are so easily swept away by the flow of narrative? Is it true that a big secret was revealed? Or is the biggest secret actually hidden in the way digital media is able to manipulate our perception without us realizing it?